Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a video on swapping out these PVC knobs on my Abu Garcia Orra Winch. So I just got this reel about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's a good reel. I mean, it's designed for crankbaits, spinner baits, your baits that are going to pull a lot of drag. You know, they're going to draw. You're going to have a lot of drag running through the water. So it is a 5.4 to 1 reel. So it's a good reel. This is my second Orra series low profile reel. Like I said, from Abu Garcia. Obviously, they make good reels. I have the Orra Inshore already, and I've already done this upgrade before to it. So what I'm going to be doing is swapping out these PVC knobs. Like I said, my Orra Inshore is a great reel. I love it. I've been using it for about a year now, and I haven't had any problems with it. The only downside to these reels that I've noticed are these PVC knobs. These PVC knobs. You handle the fish or the line, you swap out lures, your hands are wet, they get wet, you know, these knobs get wet, and they get real slippery. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, what I'm going to be swapping them to is the Abu Garcia EVA large knobs. Now, these knobs all come on your Revo series reels, all your low profile reels, and some of the Orra spinning reel series reels. Spinning reels. Oh, you gotta excuse my dog. He's coming in from outside, so that's my little Papa Chewy. What are you doing, man? So anyway, let's get back to this. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? So we're swapping them out to these larger EVA knobs. They're $25 on AbuGarcia.com. Their Abu store, their Abu shop. Great knobs. I've done this upgrade to my Orra Inshore reel. So yeah, this is great upgrade there. You get them wet and they still feel really nice and firm. They're bigger, they're more grip. I mean, it's just a lot better upgrade, way better upgrade. If you have, and the good thing about these knobs is that they're replaceable across Abu Garcia's entire line of reels. You can put it on their Black Max, their Pro Max, Silver Max. You know, these knobs are great. They're very great knobs. So I suggest, if you have a low profile Abu Garcia reel, you do the upgrade. For $25, you're not going to regret it. Like I said, I did it to mine to my Orra series reel, my Inshore reel, about, I don't know, 7-8 months ago, and I mean, it's great. So to do this swap, these knob swaps, you're going to need the following tools. You're going to need a scribe, something where you can pick this pointy end, this picky end. I don't know if you can see it right there, but that's what you're going to need. A scribe, a Phillips head screwdriver. This is just a bit. I got the handle in a minute. I got the handle for the screwdriver. A Phillips head screwdriver bit, a penny, and a 10mm wrench. Alright, so here's the handle for the screwdriver bits. So the first thing you want to do, now for this, I took the reel off of the rod. So it would be a lot easier to handle. It'd be a lot easier to do this with. So the first thing you want to do is remove the crank handle from the reel itself. And you want to put your reel aside as soon as you take the crank handle off. So first thing we're going to do is take this off. Once you loosen that up, you can pretty much do away with the handle. It's just a lot easier to get into it. So you want to take that off. Alright. There's your screw for your reel handle. Now yeah, I can see that right there. Alright, then you want to take your little lock pin off. Alright. Set that aside. Alright. And then with your 10mm wrench, you want to turn this nut right here to loosen up this. Just loosen it up. Just give it a quick turn and it just turns by hand. It's really easy. So you want to set that aside. You want to make sure that you remember the orientation well. There's a washer on there. Yeah, you see that grease washer right there? You want to keep that washer on there just the way you pulled off the reel, the handle. You just want to set that washer back onto the reel. That way you don't have to worry about losing it, or don't have to worry about losing it really. So let me set this back on there like that, and now we can set our reel aside. So let's set that aside for a minute. And the next thing you want to do with your scribe is pull these little caps out. So really, with anything you can find, you don't necessarily need a scribe. This is what I use. What you do is you stick the scribe into the little hole in there. A paper clip works fine. Anything you can get in there, and you just pull the cap out like that. Let me get to the other one. Pull the cap out of there. Boom. Alright, I'm going to set these aside right here. And the next thing you want to do is, there is a Phillips head screwdriver in there. And if you don't have a Phillips head screwdriver, you can use a flathead. It's the screw that's in there is already marked out for a Phillips head and a flathead. So you want to get that, put it in there, and loosen it up. Just give it a couple turns and it'll come right off. Alright, so now that I got it loosened up, it should be able to come out now. Bam. It's there. Let me get the screw out. Set your screw aside. That's one handle. Same thing with the other one. You want to get your screwdriver bit in there, or your screwdriver or flathead screwdriver, whatever it is you're using. I'm going to give it a nice turn to loosen that up. Give it a couple turns once you get it off of there. Get your bit out, and your handle should come out. So then you just get your screw out of there. Now these two flat white washers, or spacers, if you want to call them that, you want to leave them right there where they're at. And the reason for that is when you go to set your knobs in, your EVA knobs, they will help you guide the knobs back in there. Now before you go to putting the EVA knobs in, there's another, like a bearing inside here, inside of this knob. So the way to get that out is with your bit or whatever it is you got in your hands, something that you can push from the back side of your knobs. Push down, and there you go. They're coming out now, so I can keep pushing. There it is. So you push from the back end of the knob towards the front of it, and your little bearing comes out. So you can probably see it better like that. So let's set that one down. That's one knob. Alright, we can set this knob aside. We're not going to need it anymore. Let's do it again to this other one. Push down. Should be coming out now. And there it is right there. Alright, so let's set this one down. We're not going to need this knob anymore. Alright, now with your penny, the penny that I showed you earlier, you're going to use that, and you're going to loosen up the cap on these EVA knobs. You can use a flathead screwdriver, but a flathead screwdriver I learned the hard way on my inshore reel, that all it does is just scratch up your cap. So it's a lot easier when you just have a penny. It's contoured to the cap, the cutout that's in the cap, the notch. It's in the cap of the knob. Let's get that out. Alright, set them aside for a minute there. Alright, so before you put your knob in there, you want to, put your bearings in there. But if you don't, like I said, don't forget to put your bearings in, because when you do it, your knob will be wiggly. It'll have a lot of wiggle in there, and it will not work. It won't stay in place and anything like that. It won't hold down. So to get that in, it's very important that you don't lose these washers when you do this swap. So the next thing you want to do is get your bearing, and you want to just drop it in there. Drop it into your knob. Well, there we go. And then you want to get your Phillips head bit, or whatever it is you got, and you want to push down to set it down in there really good. It's going to go down in there pretty deep. You probably won't be able to see it in there, but hopefully you will. But you're going to push it in there pretty deep. Set that one down, and you want to do the same thing to the other one. There you go. You want to just push down to get it down in there pretty deep. Should go down in there now. There we go. Now it's down in there. Same thing with this other one. Make sure it goes down all the way. You'll feel it stop. It won't go any further. So now, once you have this in there, what I've learned to do to get this knob in there, or this screwdriver, this screw, back into the knob is you just get your Phillips head, set it upside down like this, and then get your knob and put it in to the bit, or into the, into the knob itself. And you just get your handle and you set it in there, and remember those white spacers that I told you about? They just help guide it in there. Now your screw isn't going to be in there, so you're going to just screw it on there now. Screw it on there pretty tight. Because remember, you don't want these coming off, in the middle of you fighting a fish or whatever else you might want. Whatever else you're trying to pull out of the water. So you want to get these screwed in there nice and tight. Again, I'm going to get them in there good and snug. Get them in there good and tight. Alright, and you see that one's not in there good and tight, so I need to get in there and tighten it up some more. Because I don't have much. Okay, here we go. So now, there we go. Now we're getting some satisfaction. Alright, maybe not. Hold on. Alright, so that's that one. Now we do the same thing to the other one. We get our Phillips head bit. See, and now that you've got that bearing in there, it won't wobble anymore. So let me slide this down. So there you go. See, your bearing is in there. Your knob is installed on one of them. Next you want to do is do the same thing to the other one. Turn this down, put your knob in there, put your screw in there, and you should be good to go. You push down, make sure your screw's in there all the way. And then like I said before, you want to get your knob and you put it on, use this white spacer here to guide your knob to where it needs to be. You set it down in there nice and tight. Alright. And now all you got to do is tighten up the screw that's in there now. And it should grab fairly quick. So let me tighten it up really good now. Alright. And that's that one, see. So this one isn't set on right because this one has more up and down movement, if you can see that. And I probably didn't set the bearing right in this one, so I'm going to take it off. Then this one. So let's try resetting this one. See what we can do here to fix it. So I pull this down a little bit, and it will hold down like that. Fixed it. No, it didn't. So let me start over again on this one. Alright. See what we can do here. Set that down in there, right? And make sure my bearing is in there. That's probably what's stopping it from being set in there properly. Alright, so that's in there. Slide it down there. Okay, so that bearing is not all the way down there. So I need to push it down some more. I think I got it this time. There it goes. That's what it was. Okay. So my bearing wasn't sitting flush with the guide for the screwdriver handle. Wow. So, like I said before, it's a lot easier if you just set this screw on the tip of your screwdriver. Alright, and hold it up like this. And just hold your knobs with your fingers like this, like with your index finger and your thumb. And you just guide this. Let's give it another shot, guys. And you just guide the screw into. Hold it with your thumb. Alright, and then. Alright, it's in there now, so now you just want to tighten it up. Try your best not to cross thread it. Alright, so that's on there. Again, you want to tighten it up really good. It's on there. See, now it doesn't have the wiggle room or the up and down movement that it had before. So now you've got these set in there correctly. Same thing with this other one. See, they're in there good. So now that you've got that installed, now you want to put your reel handle back onto your reel. You just slide that on there. Remember, you put the washer back on there so you don't have to worry about it. You put it on just the same way you took it off. Just slide your reel handle on there. And then you put your nut onto it. That's kind of dumb. Okay. Spin it around a little bit so I can get my sit in there the way I want it. Alright. And you get your 10mm wrench. Put a little bit of juice to it to tighten it down. Then what you want to do is try to get your lock washer or lock washer really is what it is on there. I got lucky this time and I had it set correctly. And then you just put your screw back on, your flathead machine screw on. I can just get it started. Got it. Alright. So now you just want to tighten it up. Well, I thought I had it on it. There it goes. Alright. Now you just want to tighten it up. Alright. And that's it. And you're done. You know, you just swapped out the EVA knobs. You just swapped for EVA knobs on your reel. And I recommend that you do this. Like I said, this is, I paid for these. I bought these. I mean, they weren't given to me, or, you know, just everything that's here. I'm doing this because I've did this through trial and error. You know, I've liked these knobs. I tried it out once on my, like I said, on my inshore reel, and I loved it. So now I just, every Abu Garcia low profile reel that I get, you know, I'm going to do this to them. So it's a great upgrade. Now, if you don't like the bigger knobs, they make EVA medium size knobs. I believe they're the same price as the larger knobs, but I prefer the larger grips. Now, the caps, I forgot to mention this. The caps, you want to just screw them on to your knobs like that, and then with a penny you want to tighten them up. Just tighten them up as good as you can, not too tight so where it's cross threading or over tighten them. So, and that's it. Like I said, for 25 bucks it's worth the upgrade. I mean, it's worth it very much. These other knobs on my inshore reel, my Orra inshore reel, I went to Academy and I got the over grips that have little ribs on them. and they were good for a while, but again, the same problem I had was they were getting wet and just real slippery and stuff like that, and I don't like that. You know, it just takes away from the grip of the reel. So I ended up, like I said, ordering these, and I haven't looked back since. These are a great upgrade for anybody with an Abu Garcia reel. Now this reel is very affordable as $100. It's the Abu Garcia Orra Winch. Now it's really good. The only difference that I've noticed between this one and the Revo winch is that inside here, inside the side plate here, is this. The Revo winch has the centrifugal brakes here, and I want to say that they're made a little bit. They got, and they have more drag washers, if I'm not mistaken. They have more drag washers, you know, and the centrifugal brakes. I want to say that the Revo is way built better, more corrosion resistance. Yeah, it's more corrosion resistant. Now this is a great reel if you're fishing on a budget like I am. So I mean, this will buy you some time if you want to save up. Buy this one and then save up till you can upgrade to a Revo winch, or when the next gen Revos, you know, the next gen Revo winches come out, save up for that. Save up for something better, you know. But this is just an all-around great reel. Like I said, this is made for lipless crankbaits, deep diving crankbaits, your spinner baits. I'm not gonna say buzz baits, because the buzz baits, you need you need a fast reel to keep it above the water. Well, that's all I got, guys. So if you like it, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.